Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1982 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Yankees is Roger Slagle making his season debut, and pitching for Detroit is Dave Rozema, also making his season debut. Yesterday, we won the opening day game 2-0 over the Yankees. Jack Morris pitched a two-hit shutout. Was pretty amazing to see. Before we started yesterday's game, I did take a moment to show you viewers that I did make some adjustments to the stadium settings so that they were more realistic to what actually happened at Tiger Stadium in the 1982 season. I did that for every stadium. So I'm kind of curious if the 2-0 victory was a genuine shutout pitched by Morris, or if it was more, along the lines of the adjustments that I made, and whether or not that's going to be indicative of what happens the entire season. Of course, we're not going to know that after one game. It looks like we have 12 home games in April. So after 12 home games, we'll reevaluate and see what Detroit's record is at home and how many runs have been given up at Tiger Stadium, and that might be more along the lines of what we are in store for in the 1982 season. I feel good about it, though. 2-0, great way to start the season. Let's go ahead and get today's game started. As always, I appreciate everyone following along, like and or subscribe to the channel. I mentioned also yesterday that we have all of the 1980 and 81 games available in playlists on the Brainiac Baseball homepage. You can feel free to jump in and take a look at any of those games throughout those two seasons. Or if you're new to the channel and you're just jumping in, welcome to our season replay for the 1982 season. Hopefully you've gone back and watched yesterday's game. The other thing I just want to point out really quick before we get started here is at the beginning of each game, I'll have exactly the moment where the game actually starts. So if you want to skip over me talking and get right to the action, you can do that. I'll have the timestamp in the description below, and you can always do that if you don't want to hear me babble on. Okay, so here's Dave Rozema, as I mentioned, making his season debut. We'll take a look at him more in depth momentarily. All the bullpen is available because Morris had a complete game shutout. The lineup is the same as yesterday against Roger Slagle, right-hander. So all the same exact lineup in order. And you can see over here, Trammell, Dawson, and Jackson were the only Tigers to get hits yesterday. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna leave it at the in-game stats as we did yesterday, since we don't have a lot of accumulation yet this season. And let's do the Yankees lineup rundown. Batting leadoff, playing second base, is Willie Randolph. Batting second in left field is Don Reynolds. Batting third at first base is Don Mattingly. Batting cleanup and DHing is Dennis Werth. Batting fifth and catching is Ron Hassey. Batting sixth in right field is Claudell Washington. Batting seventh at third base is Joe Lefebvre. Batting eighth in center field is Lee Mazzilli. And batting ninth at shortstop is Brian Doyle. Dave Rozema on the mound had a great season last year. It was really our staff ace. He went 11-4 with that 3.24 ERA. Had more strikeouts than you might have expected from the soft tosser. He had 78 Ks in 163 innings pitched. Opponents batted .236 against him with 3 complete games, 2 shutouts. And his fastball, as I mentioned, kind of a soft tosser. It only maxes out around 86 miles an hour. So he gets more ground balls. Detroit Tiger Stadium here is really set up for more double plays, so that's a good sign for us. Doesn't even throw a fastball according to this. He's got a sinker, sidearm curve, and a split finger. So let's go ahead and get started with today's game. Willie Randolph leading off. He's 6 for 13 against Dave Rozema. This is Dave Rozema's 1982 Donruss card as he walks Randolph. That is something that he does not do very often. He's got pretty much a control pitcher. So we've got Randolph at first. He's got decent speed, above average. And Randolph steals second base on Lance Parrish. So runner in scoring position. We're going to pull the outfield in, try to keep Randolph from scoring on a base hit. Ground ball to first. Brock makes the play. Randolph takes third base. So runner on third for Don Mattingly. Batted .295 last year versus righties. Ground ball to second. That should score a run. There's the first run of the year for the Yankees. RBI for Mattingly. And it's 1-0 New York. So the bases are cleared for Dennis Werth, who promptly gets a base hit to center field. So runner on first. 2 down. Here's the MVP, Ron Hassey. And Hassey grounds out to Whitaker at second base. Yankees take the early lead, 1-0. And let's go ahead and do the Tigers lineup rundown. Batting leadoff and in left field today is Kirk Gibson. Batting second in center field is Rickey Henderson. Batting third at shortstop is Alan Trammell. Batting cleanup in right field is Andre Dawson. Batting fifth and at DH today is Reggie Jackson. Batting sixth at catcher is Lance Parrish. Batting seventh at first base is Greg Brock. Batting eighth at third base is Mickey Hatcher. And batting ninth at second base is Sweet Lou Whitaker. On the mound for the Yankees, former Rookie of the Year award winner, Roger Slagle. He was 16-10 in his rookie campaign with that .356 ERA. Last year he went 10-9 in 24 starts. His ERA went up a little bit to .373, but his opponent's batting average went down to .247. So not a bad season last year for Roger Slagle. Of course, he's making his first start of the year. And he's going to have to face Kirk Gibson. Take a look here. Also want to point out, here is the Yankees defensive alignment. And any player who has won a gold glove in their career will have a gold glove listed next to their baseball card. So that's a new thing we're going to do this year. We're going to show defensively gold glove winners in the defensive alignment. So, all right. Here's Kirk Gibson batting leadoff. He's got a home run against Roger Slagle in his career. 3 for 7 with that homer, and he walks to lead off the ball game. So both pitchers start with a leadoff walk. Let's take a look at Gibson's steal percentage, 74% to steal second base. We're going to give him the green light with Rickey here in the batter's box. So Gibby on first. Right down the middle, and Gibson is caught stealing. The Tigers are 0 for 2 now in stolen base attempts. That is a bad start. As Hassey is not great defensively. He's got a 79 arm, and he only threw out, we showed yesterday, 25% of his attempted base stealers last year, and he's 2 for 2. So that's a frustrating way to start the game. Rickey Henderson took an 0 for yesterday, and here he pops it up on the infield, caught by Randolph on the outfield grass. That's 2 down. Alan Trammell up next, and he pulls it to the left. Caught short of the warning track by the left fielder Reynolds. So we go to the top of the second with Claudell Washington leading off. Washington was the National League MVP in 1980. and he strikes out. There's the first K for Rozema. One down. Here's Joe Lefebvre. Lefebvre, ground ball to Trammell tosses him out. Two down. It's going to bring up newly acquired Lee Mazzilli. Mazzilli hits a ground ball to Trammell, and there's a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the second with Andre Dawson, Reggie Jackson, and Lance Parrish coming up. Dawson leading off. He was the 1977 Rookie of the Year. Wasn't even close that year. He had 19 home runs, and he strikes out to start off the bottom of the second. Yesterday's hero, at least from the batter's perspective, was Reggie Jackson. Had both RBIs in the 2-0 win. Ground ball back to Slagle. Slagle tosses him out. All right, 2 down for Parrish, and Parrish walks. Second walk today for Roger Slagle. We're going to let Brock swing away. And a ground ball to third, picked up by Lefebvre, who's a Gold Glove winner, and he throws him out. So we go to the top of the third. Only one hit apiece, with Brian Doyle leading off. Doyle, ground ball to Trammell. That's one down. Back to the top of the lineup with Willie Randolph, two-time All-Star. And he has himself a base hit. And an error by Gibson allows Randolph to take second base. I guess Gibby bobbled it out there, and Randolph was hustling to take second base. So, runner in scoring position for Don Reynolds. Reynolds 1 for 2 and 2 walks against Rozema in his career. A ground ball by Reynolds, and Brock steps on the bag as Randolph takes third. I would not have, if I were placing money, I would not have guessed that Gibson would have the first error of the season. I would put the money down on Hatcher. So we got 2 down, runner on third. Here's Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. And I think that's a base hit. It's going to be caught by Henderson. All right, Gold Glover in center field. I thought for sure the way the trajectory looked, that was going to be a base hit, but Henderson makes the play and preserves the 1-run deficit. So we go to the bottom of the third with Mickey Hatcher leading off. Tigers do not have a hit yet today. Hatcher laces it to right on a line drive, and it's caught by the right fielder Claudell Washington. There's one down. And then Whitaker, finally, we get a base hit into left center field. Whitaker legs it into a double. That is the first hit of the season for Sweet Lou. And Tigers have a runner in scoring position for Gibby. We're going to let Gibby swing away. And we shouldn't have done that because he swung right through it, strikes out. 2 Ks for Roger Slagle. Going to leave it up to Rickey Henderson to drive in that run. Ground ball, base hit through the left side of the infield. Whitaker scores, and it's all tied up. Okay, so Rickey Henderson's speed is 87. How pathetic is that? In a year that he stole 130 bases. Now, he is 78%, and if a base stealer has a 75% success rate, we consider that pretty good. So everybody knows in the ballpark that he's got a green light every time he gets on base. So let's see what happens here. With Trammell at the plate, they sort of pitch out, and he's caught stealing. Come on! That is total crap, and you know it. So Tigers are 0 for 3 on the base pass with this new base stealing system that's been integrated into the 2021 baseball mogul game. And I do like it. I think that is a huge improvement, but we're 0 for 3, giving the green light to our base runners. We're going to the top of the fourth. Score is 1-1. It's all tied up. Here is Dennis Werth leading off against Dave Rozema. Rosie gets a ground ball to Whitaker. Whitaker tosses him out. Like I mentioned yesterday, as we were kind of doing the information on the Tigers' pitching staff as Ron Hassey gets a base hit to center field. And an error by the center fielder allows Hassey to go to second. So our outfield today do not have their head in the game. Hassey on second. Finish my thought with Rosie. Rozema was 3-0 in real life in 1982 before he tried to karate kick John Castino of the Twins. That happened in May. So when that day comes, I'm going to post the video on YouTube of Rosie blowing out his knee in that fight, which was a total brawl. If you ever get a chance to watch it, as Washington pops up, before I post it myself, Larry Herndon, who had been traded to the Tigers from the Giants, he just went berserk in that fight. He's punching anybody who got near him. It was crazy. I mean, a real baseball brawl, not a let's go out and stand around and shove and flex. I mean, it was a real fight. So with 2 down, Joe Lefebvre grounds it back to Rosie. Rosie tosses him out. That error by Henderson was for naught as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Trammell leading off. Trammell 4 for 22 against Roger Slagle in his career. So limited success as he pops it up to first. And Mattingly makes the play. There's 1 down. Next up is Andre Dawson. Dawson had a triple in yesterday's game. He had a couple of base hits, in fact, as he lines out to right field. And that's going to bring up Reggie Jackson. Reggie batting .235 versus right-handers last year, strikes out. Youch. We go to the top of the 5th. It's 1-all, 5 hits total between the two teams. Lee Mazzilli leading off against Dave Rozema. Rosie at 45 pitches, so he's pacing himself here as Mazzilli grounds out to Trammell. There's 1 down. Brian Doyle up next. Doyle's had success against every Tiger pitcher. 5 for 12 now as he flies out to Henderson. So 2 down. Only a Tiger outfielder to not make an error today is Andre Dawson. Willie Randolph hits a ground ball to Hatcher. Hatcher makes a smooth play to first, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Game is moving right along. Parrish, 7 for 18 against Roger Slagle. Base hit to center field. There we go. That's the Big Wheel's first hit of the season. Okay, so Brock, not a contact hitter. He has good eye, though. I really did think about maybe putting him in the second spot as he rips it to right on a line, caught by Claudell Washington. Here's 1 down. Now here's a guy that does hit and run well. We're going to hit and run, try to stay out of a double play. Get Parrish moving at first. Ground ball, too short. And since Parrish was on the move, the only play was to first. So at least Lance is in scoring position for Whitaker, who does have one of the 3 Tigers hits today. And has 8 hits total against Roger Slagle. And there's another base hit to left. Will Parrish score? He does score. Do we want to go for 2 with Lou? Now Lou has an 80% success rate against Don Reynolds' well below average arm. I think we got to take that chance. Yes, and he is safe. He's got his second double of the game. And it's 2-1 Detroit. All right, we're looking pretty strong here against the Yankees. As with 2 down, we give Gibby another shot here. And Gibson will fly out to right field. And that will end the inning. Tigers take the lead, though. It's 2-1. Headed to the top of the 6th. Dave Rozema only at 51 pitches. Don Reynolds leading off. Ground ball to first, and Brock makes the play. 1 down. Next up, Don Mattingly. He hits a ground ball to Whitaker. Rozema getting the job done. All these ground balls. Who's going to be the first Tiger to hit a home run this season? As Werth pops it up. I'm going to put my money on Lance Parrish. It'll probably be somebody bizarre like Brock or Hatcher. But if I'm a betting man, and here in Arizona, gambling sports bets become legal on the 9th of September. So I'm going to be involved with that. I'm a gambler. But I would put my money down on Lance Parrish. We go to the top of the 6th after the 1-2-3 inning. We have Rickey, Tram, and Hawk due up. Rickey Henderson leading off. Ground ball to short. And Henderson tossed out. One down. Here's Trammell. Trammell hits a line drive to left. There's the second out. It's going to bring up Andre Dawson. Dawson strikes out swinging. Wow. Not a lot of action. It's cold in Detroit here in April, I guess. So maybe the bats haven't warmed up yet. Ron Hassey leading off. Hassey, was an All-Star last year, MVP, and he also won Gold Glove. So solid all-around player as he pops it up on the infield to Whitaker. One down now for Claudell Washington. Washington hits a ground ball to Sweet Lou, and Lou tosses him out. Going to leave it up to Joe Lefebvre to get something going for the Yankees. Lefebvre hits a ground ball to third. All right, we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 2-1 Detroit. A little 7th inning stretch as Reggie leads off, and he pops it straight up on the infield, carrying to the outfield grass, and caught in short center field by the shortstop Doyle. One down. Lance Parrish is up. Ground ball to first. And he is out as Mattingly steps on the bag. Slagle almost to 100 pitches now as Greg Brock grounds to second. A 1-2-3 inning. We're going to the top of the 8th. Not a lot happening this game. The Tigers are up by 1. With Lee Mazzilli leading off by grounding back to Rosie. Rozema tosses him out. One down. 65 pitches, folks. This is a Greg Maddux-like performance from Rozema. Another ground ball. He's throwing primarily sidearm curves as Randolph pops it up on a 3-1 count. Maybe should have been taking that ball 4. As we go to the bottom of the 8th now with Mickey Hatcher, Sweet Lou, and back to the top of the lineup with Gibby. Hatcher nubs it right back to Slagle. At any point, will any relief pitcher get into the game? Hey, there we go. Sweet Lou walks. Third walk now. I would just say let Gibby swing away, but nobody's getting hit, so let's hit and run with Gibson. He's got a little bit above average contact, and he's got a good eye. So we'll see what he can get done here with a hit and run. Ground ball to the right of second base, and Randolph throws out Gibby. So Whitaker's in scoring position. We could really use an insurance run with Rickey Henderson up, and he hits a high fly ball to left. That won't get it done. Okay, here we go. Top of the 9th. It's 2, 3, and 4 due up. Rosie, 71 pitches, 3 hits and a walk. That's it, given up. We have Stephon Weaver in the bullpen. We're not going to need him, though, as Rozema strikes out Don Reynolds for the first out here in the 9th. It's going to bring up Don Mattingly, 0 for 3, but he does have the lone RBI in the season for the Yankees. And he grounds out to Trammell, and we're down to the final out. 77-pitch masterpiece right now. As Dennis Werth steps in, he's got 89 power, but he batted only .207 last year versus right-handers. Ground ball to short, and Trammell boots it. Oh, come on. The moment got too big for Trammell. And that's the third Tiger error today with Ron Hassey, the MVP, coming to the plate. What do we do here? Do we bring in a lefty? I think oh man, I feel like no matter what I do is going to be wrong. Do we walk the MVP to get to Washington, the other MVP? We got to pull the outfield in. All right, we got to do that. In case something falls in, try to prevent Werth from scoring. Here we go. Runner on second, 2 down, and a base hit to right field. Dawson can't get the runner at home. That feels forced as Hassey drives in the second run, and the game is all tied. All right, well, that's an unearned run. I guess we're going to give Claudell one more shot here. Rosie one more shot against Claudell, and Claudell lines out. So, Tigers blow it in the ninth, tie the game. 3 errors by Detroit today, more errors than runs scored, and we're going to need to get that third run. The good news is we have Trammell, Dawson, and Reggie due up. They're keeping Slagle in there. He's at 109 pitches. Here's Trammell leading off the bottom of the ninth. Shoots it to center field. It will be caught by the center fielder, Lee Mazzilli. There's 1 down. Mazzilli, Gold Glover in center. Andre Dawson up next. He hits a fly ball into right center field. That will be caught. Slagle now officially tired. Will Reggie take advantage of that? Let's see here. 2 down. And he strikes out looking for the 5th K by Slagle. So that's going to do it for Rozema. He could go another inning. He's not even near his pitch count. That's a bummer for him. We will bring in the lefty. Here's our first relief pitcher. We're going to bring in Dave Rucker. We'll take a look at him real quick. He made 29 appearances last year. 2-0. He was totally lights out with a 1.50 ERA. He only gave up 4 runs in 24 innings pitched, 17 Ks. Opponents batted 172 against him, and lefties batted 119. So we have 2 lefties and a switch hitter due up. Oops, I didn't even put him in. Let's do that real quick. Let's follow through with that decision. There we go. All right, so here's Rucker in his 1983 Donruss baseball card. And Joe Lefebvre, first player he's faced. He's 0-1 against Rucker. Ground ball to third. Hatcher tosses him out. 1 down. Now Lee Mazzilli batting .344 versus lefties. Doesn't matter, he's a switch hitter, so we got to let Rucker pitch to him here. Ground ball to Hatcher. Hatcher throws him out. Hatcher having a good game defensively. So with 2 down, here's Brian Doyle, 0 for 2 with a walk against Dave Rucker. And a ground ball to first. Brock has it and steps on the bag. So that's going to do it for Roger Slagle. Pitched a pretty decent game as they're bringing in Goose. Let's take a look at the Goose. There's this 1982 Topps baseball card. 46 games last year in the strike-shortened season. He did lead the American League in saves with 24 out of 27. 2-5 in relief. 2.48 ERA. Opponents batted .245 overall. 43 Ks in 54 innings pitched. Pretty solid. Was he an all-star last year? No, in 1981 he was an all-star. But he was the saves leader, as you see there. Okay, so we have Parrish up. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a walk. 8 total hits combined between the 2 teams. And Parrish takes a strike 3 looking as a changeup. 75-mile-an-hour changeup. 1 down. Here's Greg Brock, hitless on the season, and Brock walks. Do we have some speed on the bench? No, we don't. Maybe that's something I should look into. What's Glenn Wilson's speed? Oh, he's slow as molasses. So there's no point in bringing in a pinch runner for Greg Brock. Let's hit and run with Mickey Hatcher. Hatcher still does not have a base hit on the season. Ground ball to short. Only plays to first with Brock on the move. So runner on second. That's the game-winning run potentially with Sweet Lou up. Lou's 2 for 2 with an RBI. This is the man to get it done. 2 for 5 against Gossage. They intentionally walk him though. It's probably a smart move. But Gibby and Goose, they have a future together. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. 1984 World Series. Okay, so first and second, 2 down. Here's Gibby. Gibby, high fly ball to center field. Not going to get it done. And we go to the 11th. All right, so we're taking out Rucker. Good job by him. And we are going to bring in our closer, Roger Weaver. Take a look at Weaver. He had a mediocre spring training. I actually considered not even having him make the team, but we need a closer. He did a good job last year. Toward the end of the season, going 9 out of 10. His ERA was sub 3. He had more walks than strikeouts, which is not great. You don't want that from your closer. His opponent's batting average was .273. Doesn't have much of a fastball. 89 tops out at, but the fastball is his best pitch. Slightly above average. Changeup is average. Curve not so good. All right, so he's going to face 1, 2, and 3. That's Randolph, Reynolds, and Mattingly. Oh shit! I left Rucker in there. It's the second time I've done that. But Rucker gets the job done. Should I just leave him in there? No, that's not the right thing to do. We appreciate it, though. Okay. Sorry, my Sparky's getting a little old here. Don Reynolds in there to face Roger Weaver. And Reynolds pops it up on the infield. So let's go bring up the lefty, Don Mattingly. At least we have 2 down before he faces Weaver. And a fly ball to center field. No one is getting base hits today. As we go to the bottom of the 11th. They're keeping Goose in there. Here's Rickey leading off. And Henderson strikes out. So we've had 3 errors today, and we've been caught stealing twice. So that really does kind of limit your possibilities of scoring runs if you can't play clean baseball, as Trammell grounds out to first. 2 down as Trammell's 0 for 5 on the day. And Dawson shoots it to center. There's a base hit. Do we want to go for 2? We almost kind of have to. 50-50 shot. Do we want to take a chance? I mean, Reggie's up next. Let's get a runner in scoring position. We're going to go for it. 50-50 shot. Gold Glover to Lee Mazzilli, and he is out at second. 50-50 means 0 in this game, I think. That's going to do it. We go to the top of the 12th. We know when you get thrown on the base pass, that makes you almost like changes the momentum in this game. So we're concerned here for sure, as we're going to let Weaver pitch to Dennis Werth before we bring in a lefty to face the next 3, really the whole bottom of the lineup. Here we go. Weaver shoots it right down the middle, and Werth takes him deep, but caught right before the warning track, 432 feet to the deepest part of the ballpark. Okay, we're going to bring in Keith Comstock, the only other lefty we have in the bullpen. We're going to make sure we remember to swap him out, though. Comstock had a terrible year, but he had a great spring training. So it gives me back a little bit of confidence in him. But last year, he was terrible. He had a couple of really bad outings that ballooned his ERA. Opponents only batted .236 against him. Had a couple blown saves. That's .626 ERA. Not great. Swapping him out. There we go. Okay, so Keith Comstock into the game to face the MVP, Ron Hassey. Never faced each other before. And Hassey shoots it to left. Gibby makes the play, 1 down. It's going to bring up Claudell Washington. Washington strikes out swinging. And they're going to bring in the lefty, Rags, Dave Rickey. We're going to probably pinch hit for Reggie. Rickey pitched in 15 games last year, 3-1, 2.49 ERA, 25 strikeouts and 25 innings pitched. Opponents batted 196. So we're going to pinch hit Reggie, who's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts today, and we're going to bring in the rookie, Glenn Wilson. Now, Wilson had a good rookie season in real life in 1982. He batted .292 in 282 in 300 plus at bats. You see here him as he is represented by the 1983 Fleer baseball card, and he batted .188 last year versus lefties, and a base hit to center field. So Wilson, 1 for 1. Well, no, we're not going for 2. As we'll take the base hit. It's going to bring up Parrish, who crushed lefties last year. Of course, he is a double play candidate. He was in the top 10 last year in grounding into double plays. Ground ball, base hit through the left side of the infield. Wilson has to hold at second. Tigers have a bit of a rally going here. We are going to pinch hit for Brock, and we're going to put Bobby Ramos in there. Bobby Ramos was a left-handed hitting machine last year. 34 for 88 with that .386 batting average since the trade from Montreal. And it batted .483 versus lefties. He was incredible. Man, I wish we had some speed on the base pass, but we do not. We're going to let Bobby Ramos do his thing, though. His first plate appearance of the year. Ground ball to first. That probably will be 2 when you got 2 catchers running. Yeah, that is a double play, but Wilson does take third base. And it's going to leave it up to Mickey Hatcher to be the hero. I don't feel good about that. Batted .174 last year versus right-handers. Game on the line. Blooper into right field, and it will be caught by Washington. We're going to the top of the 13th. Some more free baseball. We're going to need to make some changes here. All right. We are going to put John Mayberry at first. And we are going to move Bobby Ramos to DH. Oh, that's right. God darn it. Forget the baseball rules. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to leave Bob. We're going to take Bobby Ramos out. We're going to put John Mayberry at first base, getting his first playing time of the season. And that's going to make us defensively inferior at first. We're going to leave Comstock in there. We've got a bunch of lefties due up. He's the only other lefty in our bullpen. Facing Joe Lefebvre for the first time in his career, and he gives up a base hit to left. So we know Lee Mazzilli hits left-handers well. Let's see if we can turn 2 here. Strikes out looking. I thought that was an attempted steal, but I guess not. So good job by Comstock striking out Lee Mazzilli. 1 down, runner on first. Here's Brian Doyle, first time facing Doyle. Oh, he's laying down a bunt. Didn't see that coming. And he sacks him over into second. And that's 2 down with Willie Randolph coming to the plate. So we're going to bring in newly acquired Joe Kerrigan. There we go. Joe Kerrigan had 13 appearances last year for Baltimore. 0-2 with a 4.11 ERA. He was terrible in real life, but in our spring training, he was fantastic. I totally just signed him as a minor league contract, but he did well enough to make the team, and we're going to put him into the fire here as Lefebvre is on second base. Here is Willie Randolph. Game on the line. I guess we will pull the outfield in. And let's see how this plays out. Oh, he walks him as he throws it sidearm. I didn't realize he was a sidearm pitcher. That is not what you want. Although I'm okay with a walk to get to Don Reynolds. We're going to bring the outfield back in. Reynolds only batted .225 last year versus right-hander, so this might be the best move anyway. And Reynolds flips it to right, and Dawson makes the play. So we're going to the bottom of the 13, folks, with Sweet Lou leading off. Here we go. Lou 2 for 2 RBI today, and he walks for the second time. So Lou is on first. What is his stolen base prospect? 67%, not great. And Gibby is a left-hander facing a lefty. So we're going to hit and run. We want him just to put it in play. Gibby does not bunt. No, Gibby's never going to bunt to sack him over. We're going to have him hit and run. And he shoots it to center field, base hit. Whitaker takes third. And the Tigers have a chance to win the game here with Rickey Henderson at the plate. All we need is a sac fly. Can Rickey get the job done and send us home winners? Ground ball, base hit through the left side of the infield, and the Tigers win 3-2. That was a solid ball game, considering we had 3 errors and some really bad base running blunders. So we'll take the victory. Tigers win 3-2. Let's take a look at the standings. There we go. All the teams have played a game now, as Tigers are, after 2 games, are in first place. Still do not have a home run. Let's take a look at the National League real quick. Everybody's played over here now too. Yes, okay. So you can see the standings there. Let's take a look at transactions. A San Diego Padres pitcher is going to miss 3 months. Big deal. Let's pull up the box score and get out of here. 3-2 victory by Detroit. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and or subscribe. Let's see, player of the game. Maybe we give it to Rickey for winning the game. I mean, Whitaker had 2 doubles, though. He went 2 for 2. He walked 3 times. I think we got to give it to Lou. So our player of the game today is going to be Sweet Lou Whitaker, getting on base every single time. A little nod to Rickey Henderson driving in 2 runs, including the game winner. Rose, he had a great game, victim of errors. And Joe Kerrigan, in his first Detroit Tigers appearance, will get the victory. So good job by him. Rags takes the loss. He's 0-1 on the season. So that's going to do it here from Tiger Stadium. We're going to come back with Game 3 of the 3-game series tomorrow. Until then, everyone, have a great day.